What's up, boys? What a week that was. Week 13 in the books. I'm going to talk about a couple of the matchups. Pretty fired up. I was thinking about this all day yesterday. I really want to talk about them, but we needed a couple things to still work itself out. We had a couple games that came down to Monday night. The most prominent one we'll get to, but was Austin versus Jared. That one had a lot of implications, and fucking Austin lost, and now we have a huge race for last place. After 0-10, Jared was 0-10, and he has won 3 in a row to match Zach's total wins at 3-10, and now it's a must-win game for both of them. Let's just take a quick gander. I'm sure his other has, but Zach does have the advantage here with a 200 point, about a 150 point lead. So pretty confidently going to hang on to that. So if he wins, he's in. If Jared wins, if he wins, he's in. Okay, we'll quickly establish that. That wasn't part of the prep notes. I wasn't part of it, so I just kind of winged it there. But yeah, that's pretty wild. Zach holds all the power. Now, as he said, he's going to need Jared to lose because he doesn't have any confidence in his team whatsoever. He is riding a 3-game losing streak. Not good. Not good. Oh, can you hear me good? Can we hear me good? Hopefully we can, because I'm fucking locked in. All right, real quick, touch on the standings now, maybe get back to them in the end, because I believe that's the most important part. The most important part of this video is, fuck last week, right? Like, we'll talk about it. I'm going to go over it, but like, everything, like the standings are everything right now. Last night, as I'm like refreshing, and Sunday night actually, there was a couple games that were very tight, and it mattered for standings. The Dakota matchup versus Tyler was an absolute heartbreaker. Again, we'll get to that. But that, had Tyler won that, I would be in the playoffs in the standings, 6. Now, we do have another week to go, but there was a lot of situations that were on the line this weekend. We have 3 teams at 7-6, and then we got 4 teams at 6-7. That is 7 teams on the cusp of playoffs. 7 teams that are in a must-win situation. 7 teams have to win. You can add Zach and Jared to that as a must-win to prevent from being in last place. The only one, and this is a maybe, but the only people that can sit comfortably is Austin, because he has nothing to play for, right? But he can't miss the playoffs. He can't miss the playoffs with 8 wins. He can't. And so he's the only one with literally nothing to gain from this week. I may be wrong. Stat check me on that. But Adam and Donald are both fighting for first place, which in this league is I think it's $200. Let me check that. Check my notes. Let's go over that real quick. That is Zach's wedding speech. Draft speech. Okay. $200. $200 Augie and Donald are fighting for this week. Donald wins, he's playing against me, that would be a bad time for me, but he would win $200. So a lot on the line this week, This week is crazy. This week, and then to top it all off, fuck you NFL, 6 teams on a bye. Oh shit. Call it back. 6 teams on a bye. What the fuck? Last week, 2 teams on a bye. The week before that, 0 teams on a bye. 0 teams on a bye. So what are we doing? Why would they do that? They know when the fantasy championship is. They know that. The NFL knows that. NFL knows that the fantasy is huge to their business, and I believe they did it purposely. I'm fucked because of bye weeks this week, and I'm sure everyone is. Everyone's got a situation that is going to fuck them this week, which makes this week all the more lit. We're going to have everything, all the cookies on the line, right? You need to make and we're going to have teams, we're going to have players that it comes down to, like Devin Duvernay. That's the reason I'm going to win or lose my season? Devin Duvernay and Adam Thielen? Everyone throw in your comments like who you have to fucking play this week because of stupid bye weeks. This is fucked, but it's actually kind of electric if you want to boil it down. All right, to the matchups we go. You guys thought I would already have been talking about Justin's dumbassness by now, huh? No, I'm going to save that. I'm going to wait. We're going to talk about mine first, just because it's in order. It's not because I only give a fuck about myself, but as I alluded to last week, all I give a fuck about is myself. But I had a fucking week. How about that? Not great, and it wasn't amazing. 140 points is pretty damn good. So it kept me alive, kept me in the running. I'm the 6 and 7 team along with a lot of us, and we have a shot. DeAndre Swift was the big guy that just came back from the dead and really saved my life. And 3 weeks in a row, Jalen Hurts has absolutely carried my team. 34 points this week. That's great. You know, Jalen Hurts is fucking awesome. He's a fun player to watch. He's my MVP. He's the league's MVP, in my opinion, and I don't see it any other way. The rest of my team did pretty well. Christian Watson did good. Jalen Waddle, 1 point. That's rough. And Zach actually had a pretty good day, and had that been the reason I lost, Zach was doing really well. Had he had Ken Walker, this game, I was in trouble because he had both of his wide receivers start off early in the morning games, Terry McLaurin and Garrett Wilson. Zach could not stop scoring points. I couldn't stop scoring points either, but that was all my guys. I had, Saquon, Jalen, and Swift all going in the morning. So, and I believe it was Watson. I scored all my points in that morning games. I believe I had 120 points before the 10 o'clock games was over. And then I had, other guys that played later, but they didn't do shit. So thank God that was what it was. But even with that gap, Zach was keeping pace. He really was. Jared Goff was scoring. Terry McLaurin, Garrett Wilson. But then here I am scared as fuck. I'm up like 30, 40, but he still had Najee Harris. No. I know he had Ken Walker in the later game, and I know he had Deebo Samuel, and it was definitely a possibility. Neither of those guys did well for him, and they let him down, and that's why he's facing the toilet bowl. So moving forward, I don't know what kind of bye situation he's in next week, but this team just has zero heart. And Zach, he said he's not a Make-A-Wish kid, but it would be very sad to see him in that it would be a real shame to see him in the fantasy toilet bowl winner. I don't wish that on him. I actually do wish it was Jared. I am on record for saying that Jared deserves a toilet bowl. But, man, you got to respect what he's doing. He's doing it the right way, and he's on a tear. He's scoring points. He's not getting lucky. He's scoring points. So you score points like this again, you're in business, my man. You're in business. But you're going to need to bring it. I hope we can all be together and watch this happen because whoever is the winner this year in this fucking league, I've got some ideas. If it's not me, I'm going to fucking throw some ideas. And you don't want to be last place, I promise you. If anybody listens to me, if I have any control to the fantasy championship winner, it's not going to be fun to be at that draft. Kyle and Justin, skip that. We got Mr. and... This one, it was just an absolute booger rolling. Mr. and Braden. Braden, he called it quits at halftime of the middle game of the afternoon games. Was like, Mister, stop it already! You're killing me. And that's exactly what he did. He texted our group message and said, as he's up 160 something points, and says, "Fucking Logan Thomas, what the fuck is wrong with me?" Because he scored 5 points, and he had Cade Otton, who was doing well at the time, and was just pissed off about it. He already had top score wrapped up. I don't know what that was about. I just thought it was a little nugget. I was like, this guy is fucking locked in. If you're pissed about starting Logan Thomas over Cade Otton, our problems are not the same, you know. Fucking rich people problems, and then I'm over here trying to figure out how I can pay my bills. He's over here talking about fucking, I don't know, rich people problems. Must be nice. So let's talk about it. This is the team that, you know, and I've been probably more carrying his water for him, telling everybody how good his team is. Meanwhile, he's 7-6, not that great, but he's scoring a shit ton of points. But this is the team that all year long we've been afraid of. We've been saying he finally got Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, all at the same page, all on the same page, putting up massive points. Jamar Chase, the only one, and he had 16 points, no touchdowns, because all T. Higgins, I mean, that was a massive game by him, but Jamar Chase, 16 points with no touchdowns. His team is scary, boys and girls. We've got Joe Burrow, Tony Pollard. If Rachaad White's a thing now, that's clearly the guy. That's clearly the guy there in Tampa Bay now, and maybe they're getting a little, with that win, maybe they're getting a little, that's bullshit. That was actually just a garbage time touchdown that got them the win. It wasn't garbage time, but I don't think we got to be worried about Rachaad White, boys and girls. I just thought it was like, how is he finding running back production? Like, we let this happen. We knew he had nobody. And, I mean, Tony Pollard's been a dog all year, so we just got to move on and get over that. But, like, how is he still out there finding motherfuckers like Rachaad White, and fucking, what's his name, Brian Robinson? Like, how did we let this happen? 7-6, sorry. If he wins this week, obviously he's in the playoffs. If he loses, I think his points total is going to keep him in one of those last spots. So wild. He's a wagon of a points putter-upper. That's the right way to say that. Braden, absolutely crumbling, dude. After touting you the last couple weeks, 3 straight. You don't. The back half of the season is the important part, pal. And it's just, let's look at it. It's just pretty average. Josh Jacobs, you were the guy that lost with Josh Jacobs in your lineup after scoring 50-something points last week. That's tough. Lat Murray in your lineup. Actually didn't do too bad, but the guy's just showing zero heart. They got to 100 points, and they let you down. But maybe this is a good thing, okay? Because now they're due. And you weren't going to beat Mister at 170 points either. You don't have those guys. You don't got that much dick, And now you didn't waste it. You didn't put up 160 points and lose. So silver lining, your guys are now due. And hopefully, whoever you play next week, I don't know who you play next week, so good luck to you. Mister's a wagon. I don't know how he's lost 6 games, but he's battled some injuries. Moving forward, I think all of his guys back, he's got to be feeling pretty damn good at where he's at. So, Austin and Jared, this matchup, touched on it a little bit earlier. You had Jared fighting his way out of last place. Any loss at this point in the last 3 weeks, he would have been guaranteed because he needed to win out. 4 weeks ago when we talked about this, it kind of didn't seem possible. 0-10, we didn't even think it was a shot. Here we are, 3 weeks later, 3-game win streak. He edged this one out by 4 points. It came down to Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, we needed Mike Evans versus Chris Olave. Jared had the advantage at 4 points. Okay, those are 3 and change. But we knew needed to be a Mike Evans game. Chris Olave is going to get his. He has. And he had a couple big drops. We were all watching the game. Every little bit mattered. Chris Olave didn't have a great game. But he had just enough that if there was ever a guy not to trust, it's Mike Evans. It always has been. This is his career. When you just get to the cusp of, do I sit this guy? He puts up like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and everybody's on Twitter saying, big money Mike, blah, 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 he's so fucking good. Oh. And as a Mike Evans owner in the past, it is a very frustrating player to have. All game, Tom Brady could not throw the deep ball. He actually didn't even look at Mike Evans many, many times. And like the 1 or 2 shots that he did have were really inaccurate. And Mike Evans had a deep ball, had a chance to end it in that game. Fucking Bucks were in the middle of their comeback. He throws a deep ball, inaccurate, but it seemed catchable. Mike Evans cared more about drawing the flag than catching and actually ending the game right then and there. They went on to win, blah, blah, blah. We know how it ended. But Mike Evans didn't even try for that ball. And that is a crushing way. Because, Austin, I understand he really, really wanted to win. Everything matters. He would have been impossible to win first place if he won and won out. Needed some help, but I digress. He's fine. Your team's fine. Your team showed zero heart. Like I was telling Braden, maybe they're due because everyone fucking blew chunks. Derrick Henry, bad 3 weeks in a row. Outside of one long run in the Packers game, Derrick Henry has looked like poop. Tractor Cedo season usually is around time this year, and it's just no snowfall on the ground, and Derrick Henry does he stink? Does he stink just a little bit? Okay, or is the manager fraudulent? I don't know. Justin Herbert. Maybe if Austin was nicer to Justin Herbert, he would score some points. But Austin is very much a Justin Herbert hater. So I don't know how you do that with your team every single week. Maybe if you're nicer to Justin Herbert, he will play better. Let's see. Yeah, just not a whole lot of fire. Not a whole lot of intensity. This was just an average day from beginning to end. You called it in the group message. You were talking about it all day. No one wants to do nothing. Zach was rooting for Austin, obviously, because he's playing Jared. But it was kind of funny, in the group message, everyone's talking about fucking Austin's matchup because it's interesting that Zach would be in this predicament. So this matchup had a lot of fun despite it being a 98-93 game. This game, which would have never mattered in any other league, ended up being very fun, like I said, because of all that's on stake. So that's why this league fucking fucks. That's why this league fucks. Donald, absolute machine, dude. What a real shame that I have to be the one to fucking either make you lose first place, hate to do it, because you deserve it. And I don't want to be that guy. I was walking down to this random guy's office, and I was saying, what do I say? Do I say, fuck, I'm going to beat Donald, blah, 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 or do I say the reality? And I'm not letting the projections get to my head. The reality is Donald's going to fucking booger roll me. He's got one guy missing, and it's not even that guy is that important. Donald's team is on a tear. I would have loved to do my research and determine how many points he's put up, but there is no way he hasn't put up over 130 points for the last 5 weeks straight. He is on a tear. And this matchup, which was 1 versus 2, Donald versus Augie, exposed some things. This was like the Bills playing against hold on, no. This is a good one. This was like the 49ers going against the Dolphins. Adam being the Dolphins. Fucking Donald, he got it done without Jimmy G. Now I'm getting confusing with this fucking comparison. But basically, he showed who the big dog is in the league. This was a big stamp for like, fuck you, Adam. I know everyone's been saying and touting you the champion for the last 4 weeks, but I'm here. I'm here, and I got that dog in me. And we said that last night. Donald, in fact, does have that dog in him. No, we said that about Jared. But anyway, Donald does have that dog in him. And Donald, 157 points with a quarterback that scored 5 points, boys and girls. 5 points. He did that dumbass shit and started Deshaun Watson. Dumbass. That is a bad play. And I wish it came back to bite him, but it didn't. Because the rest of his team has dogs. Zeke Elliott, Montgomery, both 16, 18. CeeDee Lamb, 20. St. Brown, 34. Beast. The Muth, 10. Lockett, 27. His lowest score of the week was his quarterback. That's insane. To have that and still put up 160 points. He didn't get top scorer because Mr. team was a wagon. But who cares at this point? You're first place. Now you're in the running for $200 instead of a $50 weekly. So good for you, Donald. I've already said my piece. I've already came to grips that like you're good. And back to what I was saying earlier, I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. I don't believe it, but I'm gonna go with that because I have some heart and I'm gonna fight. And even though I'm down projected like 30 points in our matchup, I'm still gonna give it my all. I got DeAndre Swift, and I got fucking Devin Duvernay and Adam Thielen. We'll see. Adam, you may have a little slight bit of fraudulence, but I'm not going to put you on fraud alert. We'll see what you do next week or this current week. But I think everyone just threw a dud, and I, except for McCaffrey. McCaffrey's a beast, but the rest of your team just did pretty average. So 111 points would have beat a lot of people this week. So I'm not going to talk too much shit. You're fine. You're gonna be fine. This is more about Donald being an absolute machine in a wagon, and that's what we're going to keep this conversation about. And then the heartbreaker of all heartbreakers. This one is the one that Dakota would have been fighting this week either way, but Tyler could have for sure said okay, I'm in playoffs. But now he joined, Dakota dragged them down into this fun week that we're going to have where the 7 teams are fighting for playoffs. Tyler needed 0.4 point. Jesus Christ, Tourette's. 0.44. That is, obviously we know what a half a point ways to get a half a point, but that is sickening. Sickening way to loss. I did it last week and it hurts. And now seems even more important now we here a week later. But anyways, that one was insane. Dak, to have a quarterback on one side and a tight end. It was Dak and Dalton Schultz. I believe he had a lead versus Michael Gallup. You're okay, if Gallup fucking scores, I'm getting points, which he did. But the problem is that is all that Prescott got was the 2 touchdowns to Gallup and then a no passing yards, which was insane. No passing yards, and then the interception. That it was mind-boggling the whole time. It's a complete meltdown. Schultz didn't. Fuck. This is the one that that affected me, and I believe it affected another guy on the cusp of us being in a playoff spot right now because of this game. So I know no one's hurting more than Tyler on it, but this one is painful to see. It really is. And Dakota, where are you at right now? What's a one-game win streak? But you did lose like two in a row, and it looked kind of rough. 109 points. You did okay. Lamar Jackson got hurt, and you found a way to win a game. And the big thing, the goose egg from Sutton, it happened in a couple other leagues. I thought it was bullshit because they didn't really announce that he wasn't playing. They said he was questionable, and he just stayed questionable, but he did suit up and play. He just didn't fucking, I don't know if he tweaked something or whatever. So, whew, I've been talking. I don't have much game notes for this game. Just the fact that how close it was and that it was down to fucking Sunday night, and that was the electricity. Sunday night was what's going to happen in this game. So both teams one of us, a lot of us are going to get our feelings hurt. A lot of us are going to get our feelings hurt because we're all in the fucking bubble and a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas for all of us. So, did I forget something? Oh, yeah. Fucking Justin and Kyle. The fact that this almost, didn't matter is a kind of a fuck you to fucking Kyle. You would have robbed us from this. As we all know by now, we talked about it a little bit, but this is the big drama of the week, okay? Justin, on Friday, picked up Sky Moore and does, as he has done many times this year, drop a kicker to pick up that person, hold that person, until he decides game decision what he wants to do and who's not playing. Whatever his reason is, drop somebody, and then pick up a kicker. Well, Kyle, knowing this game was going to be extremely close, texted us about 20 minutes into the game and said he dropped and picked up every single kicker, and then decided to, which was weird. I want to know if there is a method, and Peeler, answer in the comments. Was there a method to keeping 5 on your roster? You had 1 started and then I think 4 on your roster. No, you had 5 on your roster. You dropped 5 bums, which was amazing, by the way, that none of those guys are guys you pick up. Maybe Julio. I think you had Julio. But the rest of those guys were bums, which was insane. I guess a lot of our bench bums are bums. But anyways, what was the method to picking those guys and rostering them? Would it allow them to not, you just pick up and drop every single person? Anyways, the move, though it was gay to do, and it was really bitch made to do, as some have said, it is a genius move in a league as high stakes as this one is. One cannot deny that. Even Justin, because it has been documented in the past that Justin has done this with defenses, quarterbacks. We remember the quarterbacks he did. Trust me, boys, I tried to go into the archives and I tried to find the specific times he did it. Maybe Justin could own up to it and tell us, and we could all laugh about it and move on and say, oh, this is the time I fucked so-and-so because I did this exact move. Okay? That is why this is not a fucked up play. And especially because it's funny, because it actually caused you to lose this game. Okay? Every point matters in every single week, period. So starting a kicker off the bat, bad. Don't do it. Don't not start a kicker. We know that. Duh. Right? But it would have been a real shame had this actually caused a loss. And it did. You know why? Because out of all the kickers, the top 8, I did the stats, the top 8 kickers available that you would have gone through and seen projections, which most of us pretty much go off a kicker, a little bit of name recognition, but we're going to pick one of those top 8 guys. Had you picked up any of those top 8 guys, you would have won this week. But I went a little further. The only person, okay, top 8, not including Jason Sanders because he was on Peeler's roster. Jason Saunders and 6 other kickers available in the entire league, you would have still not lost. Okay, sorry, you still would have lost had you had them. Would have been a real crazy move to go and pick up some of those guys, but maybe, just maybe, you're not an idiot, and that these 6 points that you needed to win, you needed, how much did you need? 6.34. Maybe you would have picked one of the kickers that wasn't, and then you can't, now you don't have to feel so bad. Maybe. But if maybes were fifths, we'd all be drunk. Right. It was pretty funny to see it happen. When Peeler said we did it, I think a little bit of people were like, wait, what? Like, what did you do? And then a couple of us thought it was funny. A couple of us is me. And a couple of us thought it was really gay. But I think at the end of the day, we can respect it from a standpoint of now Peeler is in the playoff contention. Without this move, he doesn't get there. I can go back to the numbers if you want. But without that move, he doesn't go into the playoffs right now. So very commendable. I think the lesson learned here is roster a kicker, maybe. Keep one on your roster. Sky Moore probably wasn't worth it. And I don't believe I have in here is morality in question. I think yes and no, but I rule on the fact of like that is the right thing to do. Do what you can to win, anything to win. Fucking I've offered to pay people money to start a different guy. They didn't do it, but like anything's on the table. Like as long as we are not collusion and colluding against other players, literally anything's on the table. And I don't have another example, but this changed everything. This game, this result, this kicker could go down if Justin misses the playoffs. Now, even if he would have won this game, he still would be fighting for a playoff spot. But if Justin drops these last 2, this could be the look back. He'll say, I've got 2 championships, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck? This is this week. This is this year, and this is the only year that matters. And if this is the reason you go out, this could go down as the worst pickup drop in history of fantasy football. I will go that far to say. So, I don't even really want to talk about the rest of the matchup, but that is all I had to say on that entire thing. Boom, roasted. Have a good week. This week is insane.